No other creation has the ability to communicate directly with the CEO. Think about that. I mean, think about a soldier in the army, a soldier in the IDF. Can a soldier in the IDF speak directly to the prime minister, to the commander in chief, to the general? I don't think so. I don't think you can. There's no like internal WhatsApp service where you can send a message direct, right? But as Jewish people, God has created millions and billions of ants and of cedar trees and of butterflies and of silkworms and all sorts of like trillions of creations, uncountable numbers of creations. There's only one creation that he endowed with the wisdom and the capacity to communicate with God, to communicate at all. And who is that? That's the human being. Now, of the human race, God has chosen one nation as his chosen people. Now, this is not a racist thing, because if you ever got married, then it's exactly the same thing as the chosen people. Or even if you have parents, and I'm going to safely assume that every person around this class here has parents, that means they chose each other. So there's nothing to be embarrassed of by saying we're the chosen people. Just like your mother chose your father and your father chose your mother, it's not saying, ooh, your mother thinks that all men are evil. That's not true. It just means that your mother chose your father. That's what it means. And vice versa. Same thing. God chose the Jewish people, just like a marriage. And we got to act chosen instead of apologizing for it, right? Imagine a woman is chosen by her husband. They're getting married. And people ask you, are you so excited for the wedding? Nah, I'm not chosen. Not really chosen. I'm not really going to the... Stop apologizing. Stop acting like a buffoon. And start behaving like a bride. You're chosen. Of course you're chosen. So stop apologizing for it. How do you explain divorce? Oh, you're asking me how to explain divorce.
Sure.
Divorce.
Then it was the wrong choice. Right. You thought it was for sure.
And what's wrong? What's wrong with having the wrong choice? You'll never succeed unless you're willing to try. You'll never succeed unless you're willing to fail. I think as human beings, we have to recognize the fact that we are mortal. We are, limited.
We are flawed.
And flawed. My daughter was asking me a question. She wanted to know, why can't we in our culture date boys? Why can't religious girls and boys date each other in their teenage?
I don't know. Good question.
Good question, right?
Good question.
So I said to her, look, I said, you're not, in your teenage, you're not advanced enough emotionally to be able to know what you're looking for. You're not advanced enough emotionally to be aware of who you are to be able to be ready to meet your soulmate, right? Right now, what motivates you is Xbox or, some childish interest. And therefore, your ability to seek out and find a partner is going to be limited to your current immature state. Now, if you're dating for recreational purposes, that certainly is not going to aid your spiritual growth or ability to mature. Because what's going to happen is you're going to connect to someone else, and now you're going to have this like covenant with each other. You're going to be committed to each other. But if you allow yourself to grow amongst your peers, like a tree in the forest, you allow yourself to grow from a sapling into a giant sequoia tree. And now when you're fully mature, now you say, okay, now I know who I am. And now I'm willing to build a home. Now I'm ready to build a home. Now I'm ready to find out a partner that shares my values. But if you're going to do that at the age of 12 or 16, or sometimes at 42 when you're not mature enough and not emotionally evolved enough, then that could potentially lead to a case of divorce. Because where you are right now is not where you're going to be then. I know this is an interesting idea, but you don't agree with me?
No. No, I don't. I think when you're 16, 15, 14, 16 years old, you're not looking to get married. It's not looking for your life mate. It's understanding what women are about or what girls are about. And if you wait until you're 25 years old and now you're ready to find your life, you have no idea how women think, what they're like.
And why is that necessary to know? Why is it necessary at 13 years old? Why, you have mother, you have sisters, you have cousins?
Your mother doesn't count, trust me.
No, I'm just trying to understand, why is it necessary for a 13-year-old boy How does that, you don't think that co-ed schools? That was a question.
That's ridiculous.
Which age? What?
Take 13 out of the equation.
Okay.
15,
18, 20.
18, I'm good with.
22.
18, I'm good with. No problem with 18. No problem.
With dating.
What?
With dating.
Dating, yeah. But I don't believe in recreational dating.
Well,
Just one second. I only believe in recreational dating after marriage. You absolutely no. I'm very serious about this.
And I tried that. Look what happened. I got divorced.
I just got to cancel the rabbi.
Yeah, you should. And please go tell your wife that I believe that you have to date your wife after marriage.
Oh, your wife.
Because if you
Oh,
think,
recreation.
I know what you were thinking. Nah,
We were both thinking the same thing.
I want to tell you something. It's critical to recreationally date your wife after marriage, 100%. God forbid for your wife to feel that she was skewered or snookered into this position and now there's no way out. God forbid. No, you have to date your wife. You have to show your wife that she's special and that you love her more today than you'd ever loved her before. Every day. You know, a guy comes over to the rabbi and he says, Rabbi, your high holiday sermons were very, very special. Each sermon was better than the next. Yeah, each sermon is better than the next. Okay. Let me see.
Yeah, but so how do you explain, having done divorce early in my career, that the percentage of divorce is basically consistent, whether you're Orthodox?
It's not. No, that's not true. That is not true, my friend. Even though it's going to be hard for me to argue with you as a professional in divorce. But I want to tell you, are you trying to tell me that in the frum community, divorce rates are the same as the secular non-Jewish community?
They're basically close.
Come on. Fact check, sir. I'm sorry, but I disagree respectfully. 50% of couples, more than 50% of couples get divorced, I think.
50% of couples get divorced
In the non-Jewish world.
Regardless of social, economic.
I'm not sure which frame of reference you're using here, but in the religious community, I can tell you amongst my own friends and peers, it's like less than 10%. I can tell my own friends. I mean, I know my wife, my friends, you know, our social circles. If I'm not mistaken, last time I checked, in the Orthodox Jewish community, it's about 12%. Maybe in the Chabad community. Yeah, go ahead, take a look. Yeah.
Why do we act so surprised about divorce? Don't we understand that the whole journey are the challenges, the mistakes, and the perfection of who we're meant to be?
So the mistakes that we face are part of our journey, right? Right. And I agree with you. I think that's why we don't have to be afraid of divorce. And I love that enlightened depth that you bring to the table here, Jack, is that divorce, it's not a bad thing. You know, listen, you tried, it didn't work. So does that mean it was a mistake? No, it does not mean it's a mistake. That's what Jack is saying. It means that this is a stepping stone as part of your specific journey. Oh, Garrett is telling me here that it's approximately 9%.
Yeah, but you use marriage as a metaphor for chosen. So,
Yes, I did use marriage as a metaphor for
so
chosen.
You used the wrong metaphor.
Why is that the wrong metaphor?
Because, why? Because what you're saying is, yeah, there are mistakes. So the choice wasn't the correct one.
I gotta tell you, there's a guy telling me here. I can't resist this comment coming in here.
Can I
Yeah,
help you?
yeah, please. Jack's gonna save me.
It was not God's choice, it was man's choice.
Oh, that's right, man's choice. You have your soulmate, you're Rob. Every person has their soulmate. Before you were born, your soul was split into two parts. One placed into a male, one placed into a female. Now, whether you've picked that up or not depends on how conscious you
Free
are.
will.
Depends on free will. Sometimes you're gonna pick the wrong person for financial reasons, or because of popularity reasons, or because of political reasons, or who knows what reasons, or all the wrong reasons.
Sometimes the choice of divorce is not a mistake because you have a child from it. So
Yeah, maybe that was the purpose. Exactly. Well said. By the way, there's somebody come and tell me over here that there's a human being who is God manifested in the flesh. My friend, I'm so sorry to tell you, but this is the definition of idolatry. That is the definition of idolatry. To say that God, we don't even have icons, even pictures of God, because you can't even draw God. Never mind to say that a human being, a flesh and blood, is God. My friend, I'm really sorry, but this is a Jewish setting here, right? You know that, right? So unless you're trying to teach us something, this is it's idolatry. It is idolatry. It's the first two of the 10 commandments. You shall have one God, and you shall not have any idols. Having praying to a human being is unfortunately considered idolatry. So maybe this is not the right setting for that comment, sir. Okay, good.